would be nice to encourage this, that children will not be afraid of, coming up with their ideas using their creativity and imagination. I was thinking that would be a good tool. Are you okay there? That would be a good tool to also increase some social awareness and stuff like that. Thank you. So this is the Idea Expo, and I was thinking on a school-wide perspective, something that I can implement school-wide. So basically it's an Idea Expo wherein each child is to come up with an idea. And there are certain guidelines for the ideas because there are so many ideas for so many things, but we would like maybe ideas that are there to solve certain problems or issues. But then because this is from preschool, preschool department to high school, we have guidelines for problems here. The problems need to be relevant depending on the level of exposure to information from the class. So you're not expecting too much from a preschooler. It could be just, about getting their food somewhere, or, all these interesting little problems that they usually get, and trying to come up with an idea to solve that problem or that issue. Whereas as they get to the higher levels, then it would be expected that the things that they would like to find ideas for or solve should be more or less the same level as to what they had already taken up in school, in their social studies, in math, economics, and all that. So the next guideline would be that members would be encouraged to be kept within 1 to 5 people. The reason why I chose 1 to 5 was because there is a tendency usually that when there's too many, some would end up not doing anything. And so 5 would be just right, especially if we wanted to document the whole process of coming up with the brainstorming to the presentation. But if the idea would entail more than 5, then they can actually propose this and they have to justify it before getting the approval. So it's flexible that way. Now, one of the requirements also is that there should be somebody to document the process, and that this should be edited into a maximum of 10-minute video, just so that, for documentary purposes and something that we can show others and be able to review and evaluate the activity, or they can use it to evaluate themselves. Now, it was raised earlier when I was when we were presenting this to Anne, how about the smaller children? Because that would mean that they would sort of be confined to coming up with storyboards and not a video, because they wouldn't really have the video skills. But we would be surprised. Some actually could do that already with their simple phones. But one of the things that was suggested is that the higher level students can actually come in to help out with documenting this one for the preschoolers. And another requirement is that there should be values integration, so that it should be a problem that is, it should be an idea that would have integrity, would have social, concern for other people, and that, there is honesty in the way you are going to market your idea also, and not just try to get them on board because you're flashing all these things that are, what we talked about in visual, be able to decipher what are the more honest, advertisements from those that are not really. And then most of all, it should be original. It should be an original, or at least to themselves, it's what they know of is that it is an original idea. Okay, so I listed down here all the different departments that we would like, because I would like to be able to aim that it is, first of all, integrated and interdisciplinary, so that different skills are going to be utilized in coming up, in preparing to, present their idea, coming up with it and presenting the idea. At the same time, I also wanted to get all the different departments of the school involved in preparing the children and being there as guides, so that they are also involved in, let's say, for example, Okay. So this is the process of the Idea Expo. They determine the problem, come up with an idea to solve it, because it's something that really hits them maybe, or is very important to them. So they come up with something there. They do, if their problem is already approved, then they come up with researches that are supposed to help them come up with the idea for this. Now, in the research, this would actually involve a lot of skills, like the networking skills, social skills will come out, writing skills, and the resourcefulness will come out as well. Under these, of course, certain activities, smaller activities would be letter writing to certain maybe establishments or people that they would like to invite as resource persons. So I'd like to have the English teachers to come in and be consultants for them, see if they wrote their letter properly or nicely or effectively. Report writing as well. And these were actually with the help of Rebecca. And the questionnaire is actually a very good tool for us to be able to help them focus on what the essential questions are. Because if, some students would be faced with another person that they could actually get so much from, but if their questions are not essential enough to what they would like to get, then you could actually just end up wasting time. Oral skills are also going to be exercised here. And so we have interviews and discussions, so there you go. At the same time, one of the things that they will have to research on is the financial aspect of this, so that we're trying to bring out financial literacy. How much is it going to cost to get your idea across? How much is it going to cost to sell your idea? Which would, is it later on that would help us determine if it really is indeed a good idea, because you couldn't come up with such a big impractical solution for things. And then there would be most probably 3 days, depending on the levels, preschool, grade school, and high school levels, wherein they will have their Idea Expo, which will be something like a fair. They will be asked to present their ideas. They will be given their own spaces. That's pretty much as far as I've gone yet with the presentation. And so oral, visual, and written, performed skills could be exercised here. So for the smaller children, I was telling Anne that they could actually, it would be a very good thing already if, the more fearful children can actually get, get themselves in the front and just, maybe start singing their idea, or presenting it in any way that they are comfortable doing. So, is there anything else I left out? They can perform it. They can actually just do one click and have a video presentation. And part of the processing after all this is I would like for them to be able to identify what different things were they able to integrate into their idea or their project. So it's a project, what you said, Rebecca, a project to come up with a project. Something like that. So it's like a start of it. Because most of the time we're into science and environmental stuff already. I wanted something that maybe could touch on also the other areas of discipline.
Excellent.
That's great.
Wow.